Mix It Up app is normal. The Mix It Up app is now Twitch. It's now connected to Twitch. I got the update the other day on Sunday. So I'm sorting out, at least I'm trying to sort out every command that I've got and trying to get the commands working and the alerts working, you know, and what I had on Mixer I'm trying to bring over to Twitch. It's not vibrant at the moment, so if you see anything pop up in the chat, ignore it until I've sorted it out at least. What we're doing here? Oh yes, open. Yeah, so everything remains the same that you see on Nightbot, but just ignore it for the time being. Especially ignore. Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, I hate it. Friggin' nuts. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't done one of these in a while, and I'm going to do one today. So I don't really care what happens today. As far as other stuff goes, I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be GMW Day. I am in the process of sorting some things out with GMW, so bear with me. I've already started creating the character that Catboy wanted me to do. I haven't quite finished it yet, okay? But like I said, I will let you know. It's boom, 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 boom. How's today for you? Today I have done an exercise today. I did 50 star jumps today, and I lost the use of my legs. So I'm trying to get my legs back into shape. And I apologise for being a little bit late today as well, because I was sleeping. I took a nap today. Kind of got out of control. And like I say, I did 50 star jumps today, and I lost the use of my legs, which wasn't fun. So, but it was what it was. So, at the end of the day, hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's staying good. Like I say, ignore the alerts in chat from Nightbot. Like say, type in exclamation thing. That's from Mixer. Ignore that. I haven't quite fixed that here. Everything has been transferred over, but apparently the alerts won't work. I haven't quite figured that bit out yet, so ignore that. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do a podcast. This is a Wrestling Matters podcast today. So, like I say, it's the first one I'm doing on Twitch. I hadn't done one in a while. So, like I say, just bear with me today with what I'm doing. So, oh yes, so, what the fuck was that then? So, like I said, just bear with me today, guys, on what I'm doing. Just let me shrink this down a little bit. Doesn't need to be big, right? So, like I said, just bear with me, guys. We're all getting ready. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. This is a wrestling podcast that I normally do. I haven't done it in a while, and I haven't done it. I did this straight for 3 years back in the day, and then I stopped due to problems and everything like that, and problems with myself. And I'm just trying to slowly bring it back, but it's on a part-time basis at the moment. So you're going to get an episode a day. And like I say, I ain't done one in a while. This is for my Twitch viewers, by the way. Like I say, I ain't done one in a while. Don't forget, guys, TriumphChairs.com. That still exists as well. TriumphChairs.com. Games Matter 10 for 10% off. Blah, blah, blah. Right, we're going to get into it today. Let's kick it off with me talking about Randy Orton. Okay? Randy Orton. Now, at the moment right now, considering the state that this place, that WWE is in at the moment, Randy Orton is the number one heel on Raw. If you've seen it each and every Monday, you know he's the number one heel. Okay? He's the main player on Raw as far as heels go. And there's all this talk going out, all this stuff going out and everything like that. These, if you can call it rumors, call it what you want. that what he's going to be doing for SummerSlam. Because as we know, right now, it is July 13th. We are pretty much a month away from SummerSlam. Everybody is like, so there's all this rumors going out that he's going to be facing Drew McIntyre for the world title, the WWE Championship, at the pay-per-view, the SummerSlam pay-per-view. I don't have a problem with that, quite frankly. But there was 2 other matches as well that he was going to be having as well, or he wanted as well. And that was the matches that he chose to have were Adam Cole and Tommaso Ciampa. Adam Cole wouldn't work because that means you'd probably, since he's a heel, you'd probably have to turn. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind seeing that match. Okay, I wouldn't mind seeing that match, Adam Cole versus Randy Orton, but you'd probably have to turn Adam Cole heel, make Adam Cole a villain, or make him a babyface, or turn Adam Cole babyface, which could work, but I don't see it working. If I'm being honest, I don't see it working at all. If I'm honest with you, Tommaso Ciampa, that would work. That would work a great deal for me. But the match that is more than likely going to happen is Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. And like I say, I don't have a problem with that either. Because as we all know, Drew is the WWE champion at this moment in time, at least. He hasn't had I don't know if he's had a great challenger going into SummerSlam or coming into where we are right now. It's just been like finding challenges to push him to the next level, quite frankly. You know, ever since he beat Lesnar at WrestleMania, it's been, you know, a champion. It's been Bobby Lashley. You know, he beat the Big Show, beat Bobby Lashley. He's facing Dolph Ziggler upcoming at what to call it, at Extreme Rules Horror Show. Yeah, pretty much a fail, really, in that respect. And like I said, don't get me wrong, it's not a fail that he is the champion. Okay, that McIntyre is the champion, because boy oh boy does he deserve it, and he does deserve it. But this reign, which probably goes into my next point, which I'll add to this one as well, that he may very well lose the WWE Championship before long. He may very well lose the WWE title before long. And I'm talking about Drew. Because what the plan is to have Drew win it and maybe go back and maybe have him win it again, but when there's crowd involved. Because when he won the championship, there was no crowd. You know, maybe have it win it, maybe have him drop the title to probably Orton, and have Orton maybe defend the championship before long, probably the Rumble, against Edge, or when Edge eventually returns. But then have Drew win it back off Orton. Yo, what up, Big Amish? I'll get to your question in a minute, people. Maybe have Orton win the title before long. I don't know. Like I say, it's a tough one, that. But I don't mind them doing that, because, to be honest with you, even though Drew McIntyre deserves to be WWE champion, I think it would kind of mean something if he won it. You know, if he won the belt in front of a crowd. I mean, I'm glad he won it at WrestleMania. We're glad he became WWE champion, beating what's his name, Brock Lesnar. Maybe, just maybe, you know, push that, and then have him drop the title and maybe win it back in front of a large crowd. Because I think it would. I think, thinking about it, it would mean more if that happened. But the Orton thing could very well turn into a Lesnar thing, because there's even talk about a rematch from WrestleMania at SummerSlam as well between Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. So if that's the case, what would Orton do at SummerSlam? If Orton can't have a WWE Championship match, put him with, like I say, put him with Tommaso Ciampa. I'd like to see Adam Cole, but the Adam Cole thing wouldn't work, because you'd have to turn Adam Cole babyface. Since he's the top heel on Raw, you'd have to turn Adam Cole babyface. And if you're gonna bring Adam Cole up to the main roster, you've got to bring him up with the boys. You got to bring him up with the Undisputed Era. I'm just saying. Because if you're not going to bring Adam Cole up with the Undisputed Era, you're wasting your time. You know, there is a possible chance he may very well come up, because he lost to Keith Lee. I'll get to that later on. You know, he lost to Keith Lee, and Keith Lee's now walking around with the NXT title and the North American title. So that could be a possible outcome for him going, okay, it's time to bring him up. But, no. That could very well be the bad. I put the wrong one there. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get something up there. But yeah. Right, just go to ignore that alert, guys. That type exclamation, ignore that. What about Mark Henry versus Big Show? Would you see that? Probably not. Probably not. Because Mark Henry's now, I don't know what Mark Henry's doing at the moment. But are you looking for a gaming chair? Struggling to find that? Are you look? Because Mark Henry's pretty much an announcer and a podcaster now, and Big Show's came back, and the only reason Big Show's came back is probably to fill in the gap a little bit going into SummerSlam, because Edge is injured, and now they've got him competing with Orton. They've got him feuding with Orton. And I think the only reason Big Show's back to begin with is something for Orton to do going into SummerSlam. Because if they didn't, Orton would be on the sidelines doing nothing. So yeah, Big Show, Mark Henry, yeah. But yeah, that's my opinion on the whole Drew McIntyre thing and Randy Orton. But all in all, would I like to see the WWE Championship? Yes. Yes, I would like to see Orton. I wouldn't mind seeing Orton versus Drew for the title. What would happen? Who knows? I'll get to the other rumoured match scheduled for SummerSlam as well in a second. But I want to talk now about... what I call it. Last week. SummerSlam, not SummerSlam, SmackDown. Because SmackDown last week got a bollocking, if you will. And rightly so. All the wrestling community, the internet wrestling community, were pissed last week. I witnessed it myself. The whole wrestling community was in arms with what took place last Friday on SmackDown. Because the whole fucking show was a joke. And was it the worst episode of SmackDown? Yes, by a clear mile. And I'll tell you the reason why. Well, the main event was the tag team match. New Day versus Nakamura and Cesaro, which ended in a disqualification, which ended up having what they call it go through. Ended up having one of the New Day go through the table, and now they've got a rematch at the pay-per-view. Okay, they've got a rematch at the pay-per-view in a tables match. What was the point of having the match in there to begin with? To set up the match for the pay-per-view? Really? That's... I don't get that. The karaoke was a fucking joke. And I think even Naomi came out on social media and apologised. I'm not going to go into a big rant here, but I was very disappointed with what I saw on SmackDown. Naomi came out on social media and apologised for the karaoke. And because somebody lost the karaoke, we go right into a wrestling match. That's how you're going to build a match now. Use a karaoke segment, and then go right into a wrestling match. Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously. That was awful. That. But the number one factor of the reason why I hated SmackDown last week. A couple of weeks prior to it, I was watching SmackDown, and they announced properly, they announced that it was going to be Bray Wyatt, Mr. Fiend, Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt, against Braun Strowman for the Universal title. And they were going to have it on SmackDown. And I was like, cool. Excellent. This is going to be, something cool, for something that's never been done, to my knowledge, on the Fox SmackDown. Have the rematch from Money in the Bank. Have a fresh match, rematch from Money in the Bank. Have Bray as the Firefly Funhouse. Go after it. And then you might not need the match. Have some shenanigans, whatever, and then build the match at the pay-per-view, the horror show, Extreme Rules horror show between him and the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt. That's fine. But they didn't go down that route, did they? They went back to fucking square one, is what they did. Because instead of having the match, they put the match in from the fucking pay-per-view. The Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which took place in May, I believe. So, to kill time on SmackDown, they had the Money in the Bank match from the pay-per-view. The Universal title match between Bray and Braun at the pay-per-view. So they filled that in. They put that in on SmackDown, on the SmackDown show, and filled it in. What is with WWE and putting matches from pay-per-view? They did that when this whole COVID-19 thing started. Every time when it was Raw or SmackDown, you would go, right? You would go and you would watch the show, and every time on the show, there'd be a fucking match from a pay-per-view. What is it with WWE and putting shows from pay-per-views or matches from pay-per-views on the fucking show? On a TV show just to kill time. Oh, what we got left? We've got some space here. Oh, you know what? Let's put the fucking main event from Money in the Bank for the Universal Championship. Let's put it on SmackDown just to fill time. It's fine. No, it's not. If I was Fox, right? If I was a member of Fox's team, and I was presented that, what happened last Friday on SmackDown, because SmackDown's supposed to be on Fox, by the way, and Raw's on the USA Network, right? If someone presented that to me, if I was an executive of Fox that takes care of the wrestling shows and everything like that, and somebody came in to say, yeah, there's the SmackDown show for this week, and I watched the SmackDown show back, right? The SmackDown show so we can air it, right? Or the SmackDown taping so we can air it. I watched that back, right? And I saw what was presented to me, that presentation of what took place on Friday. If someone sent me that, and I saw that, I'd fucking send it back. I wouldn't air it. I'd go right up to Vince and go, here, you can fuck off having that. You're not airing that. A 2-hour wrestling show is what people want to see. And yes, it's probably difficult, and I'm not having the excuses. And I agree with JD from New York, man. I saw his little rant that he did about this. I'm not having the excuses. Oh yeah, it's tough because of the old thing. And cancel it. You know, it's tough because of the COVID. There's not going to be that many people in there. All the rosters kicking off about the COVID-19 and whatever. If that's the case, then fucking cancel the show, or cancel the taping. But if somebody came up to me, if I was an executive, somebody came up to me and went, here, there you are, there's Friday SmackDown, and then I watched that show back, and I put the tape in or the DVD in and watched the show, and they presented that, I'd fucking send it back. I wouldn't air it. I wouldn't accept it one bit. I wouldn't approve it one bit. You're sitting there telling me that the Fox executives did not, you know, they liked that. Really? You know, they liked that. They approved that. I wouldn't have fucking approved it if it was me. I'd have said, here, I'd have went up to Vince and went, here, you can have your fucking show back. Seriously, you can have your fucking show back. Because that's not getting aired on Fox Friday. You have to come up with something better than that. 3 matches, to my knowledge. That's all that took place. Watch. I'll go on the records right now. Where's WWE.com? Let's get WWE.com up here. Right? If you get any lag, I apologise. But let me just prove my point here. Right? Okay. I'm not going on the friggin' network. Right? Where's the shows? The premiere shows. Got the shows here. SmackDown. I bet you last week's SmackDown is on here. And I bet you the results, right? I bet you the results sucked. Right? Yeah, they did. Because all in all, yeah, SmackDown had Miz and Morrison. And what the fuck is going on with Jeff Hardy, man? I'll get to that in a second. It was Miz and it was Jeff Hardy versus The Miz because of what happened on The Miz TV. Bayley and Sasha defeating Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to retain their belts. And don't get me started on that because we already knew where they're going to be defending the belts anyway because the Kabuki Warriors have got a title shot coming up on Raw, which I'm guessing is tonight since I'm recording this on Monday. Seriously? And then, based on what happened in the karaoke, it ended up being Naomi versus Lacey Evans, which ended in a no contest. Waste of time. And then the main event. Or what was the main event of the show? 4 matches all together. 4 matches all together in a 2-hour show. Are you fucking serious? 4 matches all together in a 2-hour show. And the main one they had, which was Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, the main one they had, which when I saw it advertised before the show, a couple of weeks before the show, I thought, okay, great, they're going to have the rematch and everything like that. But no, they aired the fucking main event for Money in the Bank. They've gone back to their old ways, airing matches from a fucking pay-per-view. It's ridiculous. They've got 2 hours. 2 hours to fill. And they had 4 matches, and they had all this little time left. Oh, let's put the match in from the pay-per-view in May. Let's put the Universal title match. I know why they did it. Don't get me wrong, I know why they did it. To build up the match for the horror show. With Braun and Bray in this swamp match they're having at the horror show. I know why they did it. I'm not stupid. But it's fucking ridiculous. You've got a 2-hour show and you're putting in a match from the pay-per-view just to kill time. It's ridiculous, man. Absolutely stupid. I think they need to write stories for the wrestlers that are willing to work and roll with this instead of waiting for yeah, true. Yeah, because because of the COVID-19, it is difficult to do because, like I said, the COVID-19 apparently it's hit in Florida, and Florida's where the performance center is, and all that. It's difficult to do, and you've got all these guys that are not willing to work. They're stepping up, and people wanting Seth Rollins to be the locker room leader in the walkout. Yeah, it's difficult. Like the big Amish just said there, it's difficult to do. Yeah, but you want to get the people that are willing to work and build stories for them and build, angles for them. Not do this kind of shit. Because I want to get to another thing as well. Because Bruce Pritchard now is apparently in charge of Raw and in charge of SmackDown as the executive writer, creator, executive of creative, whatever the hell he was. Right? But, like I said, Big Amish, they don't know how to do that. He's right. 100% right. 100% right. They don't. Well, the writers don't, anyway. Or Bruce Pritchard doesn't, it seems. Because, like I said, Bruce Pritchard now is in charge of both shows. Right? He's in charge of both shows. Why? And I think he's even come out on his on his podcast that he does. Bruce, that is. It says he's tired. It's tiring him out doing both shows. I bet you it is. Because 1 minute you've got friggin' Heyman on Raw, Pritchard on SmackDown, and then Heyman gets removed. For what reason, I don't know. I could think of many reasons. Heyman gets removed, and now it's Pritchard on Raw and Pritchard on SmackDown. Couldn't they got a replacement for Raw? Or did Vince McMahon one day just get up and go, oh, okay, let's get Heyman out of here. Heyman could go back to being his role with Lesnar, being the advocate of Lesnar, and we'll just stick Pritchard over here. He could do both shows. They didn't think that through, really, did they? Let's face it. Didn't think it through. Because if it was me, I didn't care if it was Vince McMahon to begin with. I wouldn't have accepted that. I said, you can get somebody else to do Raw. I'll stick to SmackDown, thank you very much. Not that he's doing a good job on SmackDown. Clearly what happened last Friday. There is reasons why probably Heyman left. Because AJ Styles came out and said the reason why he left Raw and ended up going to SmackDown and winning the Intercontinental Championship to begin with is because he didn't trust Heyman. I think he's even said Heyman had a little bit of a falling out. And he thinks Heyman's a liar. Join the queue. Because there's a lot of people that think Heyman's a liar. A lot of people. And there's probably a big list the size of a post office about Heyman being a liar. But apparently he felt that he should have went to bat, and he being AJ Styles, he felt that Heyman should have went to bat for Gallows and Anderson when they got the release. He should have stuck in and went, no, or said something. I mean, it's not Heyman's fault. You know, Vince McMahon gives the releases, not Heyman. But I can see where you went in that one. I mean, Heyman should have probably just went, no, don't release them. Because now that Gallows and Anderson have gone, probably heading towards Impact Wrestling from what I'm hearing. They're heading over to Impact Wrestling. The Gallows and Anderson going makes the Boneyard match meaningless. Even though the Boneyard match at WrestleMania was great, but them two were involved in the match. And I even watched. I think I even watched the way they did it on the Last Ride documentary. They kind of cut them out of the whole thing. It was like they would edit it out. It was just showing you what happened with, brief stints with Undertaker and AJ. Not Undertaker, AJ, and then Gallows and Anderson and that. It's like they cut them out and said, here, there you go, fuck it. That kind of stuff. So, I can probably understand that in respects. But Bruce Pritchard has already been talking about he's getting stressed out and he's getting burned out doing 2 shows. That's 4 hours that Bruce has to do, by the way. Actually, no, correction, 5 hours, since Raw's a 3-hour show. Or supposedly a 3-hour show. That's why, and that's why WWE's in the shit. And that's why I've always said that NXT is the number 1 brand in wrestling. If you want a show, if you want a wrestling show, or a show that's going to give you wrestling and not bullshit you, go to watch NXT on a Wednesday. Because you'll get you'll get better wrestling and a better show than you do Mondays and Fridays. Because I don't know what the fuck you get Mondays and Fridays. Especially on a Friday. I don't know what the fuck you get Mondays and Fridays, man. And yeah, like I say, I'm not denying that it's not difficult to do considering with the COVID-19 and everything like that. But come on. Fucking hell. The whole thing's fucking... the whole thing is stupid. Period. Right. Let me catch my breath. Alright, let me just catch my breath for a second. Are you looking for a gaming chair? Struggling to find that right chair for you? Why not try Right, let me just get that sorted out. There you go. So there you go. I just dabbed there because that's one of my channel points. Yes, I've had some channel points to my stream as well, guys, if you want to make me do things on here as well. And like Catboy just did there, 500 points. Gets you to make me dab. So, like I said, it's all about the points, though. It's all about the points. So, anyway, I'll continue with this podcast right after this as well. Just let me get my breath back. Are you looking for a gaming chair? Struggling to find that right chair for you? Why not try TriumphChairs.com for all your gaming chair needs. Look at the varieties, look at the makes, look at them all and choose which ones you want. And if you do find the one you want, use GamesMatter10 for 10% off. TriumphChairs.com for all your gaming chair needs. Right. Yes. Like I said, GamesMatter10 for 10% off. Right, let's go to AEW. Let's jump to AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Because All Elite Wrestling, I mean, if you want to watch some good wrestling on a Wednesday, if you want to watch some good wrestling, and not Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, watch NXT, or hell better yet, watch AEW. Watch AEW. Because I don't give a fuck what anybody says, man. AEW's the shit at the moment, man. It's hot. Hot. Absolutely superb at the moment. Yes, it's taped, considering what's going on. But it's hot, man. It's good shit going in there. They kind of did what NXT did. Actually, yeah. To be honest with you, I bet NXT did the same. I bet NXT was doing the same thing because they had 2 nights of, was it Fyter Fest? As well. Yeah, 2 nights of Fyter Fest, which was actually pretty good. Because then what they had to work with, but it was actually pretty good. I mean, you don't hear the AEW wrestlers cowling out and wanting out, marching out and watching out walkouts because of the COVID-19. They've got on with it. Last week they had, what did they have last week? They had tag team title match. I don't know where it's going with Kenny Omega and Adam Page as the tag team champions. Because I thought, considering the way it was built and the direction it was going, I actually thought Adam Page was going to turn heel, but apparently he's not. But apparently he isn't. Dr. Britt Baker, as well, is torturing Tony Schiavone. And by the way, Dr. Britt Baker, Mrs. Adam Cole, by the way. Yes, she's going out with Adam Cole. Just letting you know, which I'm sure you all know. As well. Cody defending the TNT title. As well. The TNT Championship. I think his last title defense that he had, he defended it against, what's his name? I forgot his name, but Ricky somebody. I forgot the last name. But the guy was a former NWA television champion. If you watch the NWA Power Hour, he won the TV belt on that show. He won the NWA TV title, so he's an NWA television champion. And obviously Cody won as well. And then Cody kept on winning, Apparently there's rumored for July 22nd rather, that when he defends the belt, July 22nd, he's going to defend it against Zack Ryder. Yeah, apparently it's going to be Zack Ryder that's going to come in. That's what I've been told. We'll find out. July 22nd. So, apparently it's going to be Zack Ryder that he's going to be facing. Apparently. And, they were supposed to have the match, but apparently the match between Jon Moxley and, what's his name? Jon Moxley and Brian Cage got cancelled because Renee Young came down. It was Moxley's wife, by the way, came down with COVID-19. So Moxley had to take some time off, postpone the match, and go and take some time off and be with his wife. Which I don't blame him, quite frankly. But apparently it's going to take place this week, or upcoming. I don't know when the match is going to take place, but apparently it's going to take place either way. So, I mean, I can't wait for that match, if I'm being honest with you. Moxley versus Brian Cage. Brian Cage, who's now the FTW champion, by the way. Yes, you heard me. You heard me correct. I didn't stutter. Brian Cage, the FTW champion. Yes, the old belt is back. A lot of people complained about that when Taz came out last Wednesday and presented the FTW titles and gave it to Brian Cage. A lot of people came out and says, does AEW really need another title? Okay, let me educate some of you fans. Some of you fans may already know this, but let me educate some of you fans. the originally concept of the FTW title, yes, Taz created it. He got that right. That's his baby. Okay, the FTW Championship was his baby. But the reason he created it in the fucking first place was back in ECW. Because Tony Khan's a wrestling fan, he thought, let's bring back the belt. You know, that kind of belt. Because Tony Khan's a wrestling fan. He's seen the ECW. He knows what Taz is about. Heck, he even knows some of the stuff that Taz knows himself, but forgets. Because of how long it is. But he brought back the FTW title. The FTW title was originally made in ECW, 1998, and the only reason it was made in ECW to begin with, yes, Taz created it, was because Taz felt like he was being wrong done by ECW at the time, because they were pushing Taz to become world champion, which he eventually did in 1999. Where he won the belt by beating Shane Douglas at Barely Legal, at Guilty as Charged in 1999. But building up to that, he felt he was getting wrong done out of a title shot. He was getting pushed to face Shane, who was the champion. But he was getting wrong doing. You know, I mean, one time, at Living Dangerously in 98, he would wrestle. Was it 98? No, WrestlePalooza 98, I believe. Yes, it was WrestlePalooza. He would wrestle. Shane was going to schedule to defend the ECW title against Al Snow, but Taz would interfere before the match. He would come out and confront Shane Douglas, putting him out of action, injuring him and everything, at least trying to make sure the match doesn't take place, which led to the Bam Bam Bigelow feud, which led to the match at Heatwave 98 for the FTW title, by the way. You know, but that's the reason why the FTW was never sanctioned by ECW. Is the FTW sanctioned by AEW? I have not a clue. I do know, I think it's tomorrow night on AEW Dark, which is the show they have the day before. The show they have for YouTube that airs on YouTube the day before Dynamite, or whatever Dynamite's going to be this week. I think it's back to Dynamite. Right? Apparently, Brian Cage is scheduled to defend that FTW title against Brian Pillman Jr. as well. And why the fuck are they jobbing him out? Yeah, they came in, he lost to Sean Spears last week. They're bringing him back, and they're having him face Brian Cage. That's a talented motherfucker right there. I'm talking about Brian Pillman. Okay? You could do some good things with him. Don't be fucking jobbing him out. Unless you're making him earn his spot on AEW. At the moment, right now, that guy's in Major League Wrestling at the moment, MLW, or he's supposedly in MLW. I haven't kept in contact with MLW since this whole COVID-19 thing. I think MLW's been put on the shelf until this whole COVID thing dies down. So I don't know if they're coming back or not. I mean, there's been a lot of wrestling promotions that have had to go out of business. Probably because of the COVID-19 thing. One of them was Evolve. So, I don't know where MLW stands at the moment. I haven't checked on that. But, Brian Pillman Jr., you could have him on your roster. There's an opportunity to have him on your roster. Fucking take it. Because that dude is good. And if you can't get anything out of AEW, that guy should go to fucking Japan. Because that dude's amazing. He really is. He's just like his dad. Brian Pillman. He's just like his dad. In respects of wrestling and everything like that. I don't think if he's a psycho, but whatever. But yeah. They're going to have the match. I have no idea when it's going to be. I think they're going to have it this week, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know when they're having the match, but they're going to have the match eventually. It's going to be Jon Moxley and Brian Cage. And I think Moxley's back this week on AEW as well. Because apparently him and Renee is now being cleared of COVID-19. So she's good to go. And I don't know what she's going to be doing next because they cancelled Backstage, didn't they? So, you know, the Backstage show, Fox cancelled it. So, I don't know what's going to be taking place in that respect now. So, you know, it is what it is, though. Didn't I not make... Hold on a second, guys. Let me just check this out a second. But yeah, that's what I'm saying at the moment. Well, that's what I'm seeing at the moment. But it's just weird. But the it's good to see the FTW title back. It is tremendous to see the FTW title back. But yeah, it's tremendous to see the FTW title back. It's tremendous. Absolutely tremendous to see the FTW title back. But people are always saying, is it a belt? Is it a proper belt? No. Like I say, I don't know if AEW have sanctioned the belt yet, but I guess we'll find out this week. But I don't know if, like I say, I don't know if AEW have sanctioned the title or sanctioned it as a belt. But yeah. I guess we'll find out. But I'm looking forward to that match between him, between what I call it, and as well the I'm looking forward to the match between Cage and Moxley. But guys, let me just say this to you right now: don't be surprised if Moxley wins, right? But don't be surprised also if they put the belt on Cage as well. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Yes, his first match he came in, he won the belt. He won the Battle Royal and got the first, and got the title shot. So it's difficult. And the fact that he's got Taz as a manager, that's fucking incredible. It really is. And I said this on Facebook, on social media once before. Taz being Brian Cage's manager is phenomenal. Because we are getting the old school Taz from ECW. Because the old school Taz from ECW was a badass. And that was his best work in ECW. Period. He came in as the Tasmaniac, this gimmick and everything, which I'm guessing was a Tasmanian devil kind of character. And then he got injured, broke his neck, and left, and came back as this shoot fighter. As we all know. The Taz mission and all that. And that was his best work. Because Heyman went, here, there's your mic, do what you need to do. And he did it. That's what we're getting in AEW. Except he's the manager. Because some of the promos and some of the stuff that's come out with Taz's promos, because that guy could talk. Let me tell you. Jake Roberts can talk. Taz is going to be up there at the moment right now. If there was like a top 5 of the best mics, or the best people on the mic in AEW, he has to be top. He has to be up to top 3 at least. He might even be better than Jake at the moment. Yes, Jake can talk on the mic, and Jake is one of the best people on the mic of all time. Period. But Taz has to be up there. I mean, I've enjoyed his work as a manager, and WWE might want to be keeping an eye on that in case. But I don't think he'd be leaving WWE. If WWE came knocking on the door and said to Taz, "We want you back as a manager. You can be manager," I don't think he'd do it. To be honest with you. Because the differences between AEW and WWE, AEW is not PG. WWE is. And some of the stuff that he's doing now in AEW, he would not do in WWE. Or WWE would not allow him to do that in WWE. Period. Yeah, that's a shoot. As well. That's an absolute shoot. But I like Taz's work in AEW. I really do. The women's things is good as well. The women's matches are good in there as well. But I like Taz's work in AEW. I really do. Right, let's go back to WWE because I want to talk about Jeff Hardy. Because Matt Hardy's came out on Twitter and said that he is worried about the direction that WWE is going with Jeff Hardy. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him for 1 second. This is Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy's brother, by the way, for those of you that don't know, which I'm sure you all do, Hardy Boys and that. But apparently Matt has came out and said that after answering a fan, apparently he's came out and said that he does not like the idea and he is worried for Jeff Hardy. Because even Jeff Hardy's came out and said that I don't think even he likes the storyline that he's in with him and Sheamus at the moment. Let's have a look. Where's the storyline? Where's Matt Hardy? Where's the whole Matt Hardy thing? There we go. Let me just get to this here because let me just read the tweet. Where is it here? Right. One tweet said this. One person said this on Twitter. I immediately fall back on this. Matt Hardy is off doing his own thing and giving back to the business. Guy is mentoring young talent and being celebrated as a legend in AEW. That's what AEW sees him now. You know, he's giving back and he's managing a tag team at the moment as well. Jeff Hardy is being presented as a junkie with no reason to celebrate his time with us. What if he relapsed? Matt replied with this. I am very happy with how AEW has let me brand my personality, my persona, if you will, allowing me to help younger talent on and off screen, while also respectfully celebrating my legacy and contributions to the industry. I have those same concerns about the unneeded pressure on my brother. So basically what the guy was saying there, and by the way, it's King of the North on Twitter. It's King of the 613244613 on Twitter. I understand that. Because we all know Jeff Hardy's had issues in the past. It's a no fucking brainer. Jeff Hardy's had problems in the past, which is the reasons why he's left WWE in the first place. Because he's failed drug tests, he's had issues, you know, and that. I mean, there was the infamous TNA incident when he came out on Victory Road, supposed to wrestle Sting for the world title at Victory Road at a Victory Road show, but came out high as a kite because of the whole drugs thing. So we all know Jeff has had problems. But with this angle with Sheamus and the bar fight that's supposed to take place at the pay-per-view, the bar fight that's supposed to take place at the damn pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, you can understand Matt's concern. I don't know. Like I say, I don't read minds, and I don't know what Jeff Hardy's, I don't know Jeff Hardy's whole thing about this whole thing is. Because like I say, I'm not a mind reader. But if I was Jeff, I'd be pissed. If that was me. Putting me into that. the direction he's gone with it. Taking a urine test and everything, which was the urine test segment they had with him and Jeff, with Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. Carbon copy of what Shawn and McMahon and Mr. McMahon did on Raw years ago. Carbon copy. Better to be pissed off than pissed on. Phew. Although I don't think the urine sample was as big as the one that Jeff used. But anyway. And then you've got Sheamus coming out on the Titantron in a bar, drinking beer, and then offering, or drinking whatever the alcohol drink he was drinking, and then getting a servant to come out to the ring in a segment and serve Jeff a drink. You could understand Matt's situation on this. If Matt had his way right now, he'd probably get Jeff out of there. Get Jeff out of WWE and bring him to AEW. So I'm guessing right now Matt's probably got his eye on Jeff at the moment. Because what if, because like I say, with all this whole thing going on, what if Jeff does relapse? Hopefully he won't. But the guy's clean and he's got himself sorted out. But this angle's not helping him. I mean, they did that with Jake Roberts one time as well. Jake, as we all know, has had issues galore back in his life. He had alcohol issues. Alcohol problems. And during a feud that he had with Jerry the King Lawler, Jerry Lawler exploited that. If you go back and watch, I believe it was the Pick the Poison DVD, the Jake Roberts Pick the Poison DVD. Pick Your Poison DVD. He even explains it himself that he hated it, and they did that in there. They had Lawler pour whiskey all over him, and that. What if something like that happens with Jeff? Jeff has had a lot of problems in the past, and this is not helping him. And if I was Jeff, and that happened to me, I'd go along with it at first to see what direction it goes, and then they add this and all that. I'd be like, fuck that, I'm out. You can get somebody else to fill that in. I mean, the guy's supposed to be getting a push. Hell, at one point, at WrestleMania, it was supposed to be Roman Reigns and Goldberg for the Universal title. Not many people know this. When Reigns dropped out due to COVID-19 and his health with, because he had leukemia. It's understandable he did it, even though he got fucking shit canned for it. But it's understandable why he dropped out of the match with Goldberg because of his, the COVID-19 and his leukemia, because he's battled leukemia, it's well documented. The replacement for Roman, one of the replacements for Roman, or one of the ideas for the replacement for Roman to face Goldberg, and probably would have won the Universal title since Braun Strowman came in, was Jeff. Don't know about bringing Jeff in as well. And Jeff is meant to be getting a big push. Everybody was thinking, oh, he's going to go for the Intercontinental Championship. No. And thankfully he didn't. Even though the angle was stupid for him to for them to get him out of the Intercontinental Championship picture, the angle was fucking ridiculous. That car incident thing, and Jeff gets arrested and all that. And you wonder why Matt's concerned. It's all with the feud with Sheamus, but the whole thing's stupid. And Jeff's meant to be getting a fucking push. Before long, he could very well be Universal Champion. If I was Jeff right now, I'd get out of there. Oh, I'd be very careful. Hopefully this ends at the Extreme Rules Horror Show in that bar fight they're supposed to be having. Him and Sheamus. Hopefully that ends, and ends quick. And if I was Jeff, I'd want to end it quick. Because if you don't, Matt might be right. You may very well relapse. Hopefully he doesn't. But I'd be very careful on that. Right, I talked about AJ Styles earlier on with the Heyman situation. Let's see if there's anything else I can talk about. Oh, big shout out to Keith Lee as well. Yeah, big shout out to Keith Lee. Keith Lee is now a double champion in NXT. He's the first person to hold the... he's the first person now to hold the NXT North American Championship and the NXT Championship itself. That's never been done. That's never been done. And like I say, AEW had 2 nights of Fight. The first... WWE NXT had 2 nights of the Great American Bash. Apparently, also, I mean, it was a great match, don't get me wrong. Yes, it got leaked. The match. It got leaked on the internet. That Keith Lee won the belt. And apparently someone got bollocked for that. But it was cool to see. Keith Lee is now walking around with the NXT Championship and the North American title. What they're going to do with that, I don't know. Will they strip him of the belt? Because it was a winner-take-all match. Pretty much title for title like in the old days. And back in the old days... Hey, Digital. Back in the old days... You know, they had the Warrior and Hogan, the original title for title match. Warrior and Hogan back in 1990. You know, Warrior was the Intercontinental Champion, Hogan was the WWF Champion, or WWE Champion as it's now known. And Warrior won the title, beat Hogan, became the WWF Champion, and ended up walking around with the Intercontinental belt and the WWE belt. But they had to make him drop. They had to make him drop the WWE Championship. They had to make him drop the WWE title. They had to make him drop the WWE Championship as well. They had to make him drop the title. No, he kept the WWE title, but they had to make him drop the Intercontinental Championship. And that's why they had a tournament after that, which ended up having Mr. Perfect win the tournament. And Mr. Perfect became the champion. And it was Mr. Perfect and... what's his name? It was Mr. Perfect and... I believe it was Mr. Perfect and Tito Santana. They were in the final at the time. And that saw, with Mr. Perfect and Tito Santana at the time as well. So which led to that. Will they do that with the NXT North American champion now that Keith Lee's walking around with the NXT title and the North American title? Will they make him drop the NXT North American title? Because either way, if you had to choose one, he's keeping the NXT championship. Keith Lee ain't no dumbass, okay? He just won the NXT title. Oh, Mr. Lee, you have to drop one of the belts. Okay, you can have your fucking NXT North American title. I'm keeping this motherfucker right here. I'm keeping this baby right here. Because he's won the NXT championship. So he's not gonna drop the NXT North American title for the NXT title. He's gonna drop the North American title if he can't keep both. But I think he's gonna be keeping both. But will that happen? I don't know. I guess we'll find out this Wednesday when NXT's back on the air. So we'll see. But yeah. The Great American Bash was actually pretty good. It was pretty good. Oh, the 2 nights of the Great American Bash was actually pretty good. Apparently Keith Lee's teased a future main event for WrestleMania. Him and Donovan Dijak, Dominik Dijakovic. Donovan Dijak was his old name in Ring of Honor. Dominik Dijakovic. That's what I'm saying. You know, even now, because they beat the hell out of each other over that NXT title belt, the NXT North American title. They beat the hell out of each other, both the belts. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Keith Lee double champion 2 times. Yeah, but fair play to Keith Lee. Fair play to Keith Lee. And guess what? And this is the irony. I saw a video the other day. You all remember the feud with that led into WrestleMania with I think it was it WrestleMania 25 when Triple H fought Randy Orton for the belt, and Orton was going after every McMahon member and basically kicking them. This was when Orton was with Legacy, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. And I remember seeing the clip, and there was a segment on Raw where, I don't know when it was, it might have been for Backlash. I don't know, it might have been for the Backlash show, because the 6-man tag, it was meant to be, on the Backlash, it was meant to be Orton and Legacy, Orton, DiBiase and Rose, Cody Rose, yes, the Cody Rose you see in AEW, versus Mr. McMahon, Shane McMahon and Triple H. But it ended up being Batista, because Batista ended up replacing McMahon. I don't know when it was, but there was a segment on Raw where Legacy was in the ring, and then Triple H came out. And Triple H came out, and then Vince came out, and then Shane came out. It might have been the other way around, but all three of them came out the top of the end, and then all three of them went after Legacy and had to beat up the security guards. Well, Triple H grabbed one of the security guards and threw him into the guardrail. That security guard was Keith Lee. Go back and watch the video. It was even a picture of it on social media. Him grabbing one of the security guards, throws him right into the guardrail. The security guard he threw into the guardrail was Keith Lee. Yeah? From there to now, he now works for Triple H on NXT, and he's now the double champion. Yeah? Go figure that one out. But yeah, all in all, like I said earlier on in the show, as well, NXT is the place to be. If you want WWE, if you want to go to WWE and you want to watch a good wrestling show, WWE product wise, if you want a good WWE show, you need to watch NXT on a Wednesday night. And don't choose between NXT and the AEW. Watch them both, because you get a better thing on Wednesday night than you do on a Monday and Friday. You get a better shows, both of them, on a Wednesday night than you do on a Monday and Friday. Because Monday is Monday, and like I said, what the fuck that was on Friday, I don't know. But you could understand the frustration of, the wrestling fans. You can understand the frustration of the wrestling fans. Because that was a fucking joke. What happened what happened on Friday? That was a fucking joke. It really was awful. And like Big Army shit as well. Like I said, and I'll say it again, just to clarify, the Big Army said in the chat here on Twitch. And by the way, guys, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, twitch.tv/GamesMatter_. It's where you can see the stream live. I don't do it every time, but I do it on the other occasions. Okay? Big Amish said it right as well. you've got to plan for the ones that and create storylines and angles and whatever for the people that are willing to work, and you can't force them. That's the thing. You can't force them. If they either want to work or they don't. And you can understand why they don't. Right? You can understand why they don't. But you can't force them to do so. If they don't, they don't. If they do, tremendous. And for the ones that do, seriously, for the ones that do, create storylines for them. Create angles and stuff for them. But like Big Amish said in the chat, they don't know how to. It's as simple as that. And it's probably even worse now with Bruce Pritchard in charge of both shows. You know, why couldn't they have gone out and get another executive, whatever the fuck it was, of creative? You know, why couldn't they went out and get another one of them? You know, the whole thing makes no sense. Simple as that. The whole thing does not make any sense, guys. Why they took out Heyman to begin with. I'm sure Vince had his reasons. I'm sure Vince had his reason to take off Heyman. But, yeah, the whole thing makes no sense to me. At the end of the day, the whole thing, it's just like, no, I don't know. The whole thing's crazy, and it's, you know, you're giving Bruce Pritchard too much too soon. If I was Vince right now, I would bring somebody in quick to take over Raw. And I know why he's done it, because he trusts Bruce, but yeah, he needs to. He needs to sort it out, dude. He needs to sort it out. And do it quick. Right, just one more thing about SummerSlam this year. WWE reportedly making big changes to the SummerSlam card. With this year's SummerSlam likely to take place at the Performance Center, you can understand why, instead of an arena, and Edge being on the sideline, WWE is reportedly making significant changes to the planned card. It was originally reported that Brock Lesnar was going to be a part of the show, but now his involvement appears to be in doubt. Here's what Twitter account WrestleVotes noted on this situation. Let me read it out to you guys. Was told this weekend that projected SummerSlam card that Creative had in place a few months ago has been torn up. Edge's injury played a big part, as well of the lack of audience. No fans means no. WWE has no desire to have Lesnar on the pay-per-view. So basically, 2 matches scrapped, and I guess one of them is Lesnar. So I'm guessing now with that, then reading that, maybe we're going to get Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Because that was one of the plans as well. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. So, obviously they want the whole thing. And so I'm guessing we're going to probably end up getting Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre at the pay-per-view. Which, like I said earlier on, guys, I don't have a problem with. Because, like I say, Randy Orton's the number one heel at the moment on Raw. And, yeah, he's the number one heel on Raw at the moment. So, why not? Why not? I mean, I don't agree with Drew defending the belt against Dolph Ziggler, but I know there's history between them two. I know there's a little bit of history between them two. But, you know, it is what it is. Right. Redeemed Ada Command 2000 cats. Okay. I'll add that to the commands. Let me make a note of that, Catboy. Like I say, I'm just sorting the commands out at the moment. And let me just... I'll make a list of the commands as well. So you just redeemed a command, your own command, cats. So once I get everything sorted out, it might not be straight away, Catboy, but I've made a list of all the commands. Like I say, I haven't figured out because Mix It Up app has just changed over to Twitch. I got the update yesterday. I got my update yesterday, and I'm trying to sort all the commands out and make the commands work. So what you heard on Mixer, you can hear on here, but apparently it's not working at the moment. I haven't quite sussed it out yet. But I've just took a note, since you've redeemed the 2000 add a command, the command add a command, I'm going to get to that in a second, people. The add command is to add a command. You can redeem and add your own command, but you have to pay 2,000 channel points for it first as well. So, like Catboy just did there, he wants cats. So I'll have to figure out something, a command for cats, and I've just made a note of it there. So when I get everything sorted out, on my channel, and figure this whole new Twitch Mix It Up app thing, the commands will be back on there, and then I'll add the command for cats as well. So I don't know. I'll probably make like a cat noise or something. So when Catboy comes in, he can type it in the chat, and there'll probably be something to do with that command. That'll pop up in the stream. So, like I say, I'll figure that out myself. I don't know how, like I say, because it only just came out yesterday. I'm still trying to figure it all out. I'm trying to get them commands working, but I'm failing at the moment. So hopefully somebody can help me out with that. What time is your next live stream? Tomorrow at 7 o'clock. For those that are watching this on YouTube, this has got nothing to do with you. This is my next live stream that I'm doing on Twitch. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock. It is GMW. Games Matter Wrestling tomorrow, 7 o'clock UK time. Right here on this very channel on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Games Matter _. Another episode of GMW tomorrow. And the question is, guys, is this. Who's OJJ's tag team partner? That's right, Orange Juice Jones has a tag team partner to choose. Because tomorrow it's going to be Hannibal Black and a member of the... Pretty much, it's going to be Hannibal Black, Fallen Disciples tomorrow. It'll be Hannibal Black tag teaming with one of the members of the Fallen Disciples to face OJJ and who? You'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out. It is not a Mafia member, by the way. It's not me. It's not going to be me. It's not Goldberg. But OJJ knows the guy. And I know who he is because it was me. It was me who talked to him. And he's come in, and he's going to be OJJ's tag team partner, and he makes his debut tomorrow. And he's going to be OJJ's tag team partner tomorrow as well. And also tomorrow there's going to be... Also tomorrow as well, Loco Joe, the #1 contender for the World Championship and the man who will get the title shot July 30th at Highway to Hell. He's going to wrestle Satoru Matsuda tomorrow in a submission match. And I hope Loco puts that fucking Loco lock on him and make him tap like a little baby. But if you want to see what happens tomorrow, this time, 7 o'clock UK time, whatever that is in your area, please check it out. Tomorrow for the first of 2 installments of GMW. GMW Tuesday, and there'll be GMW on Thursday as well. So GMW Tuesday, tomorrow, 7 o'clock UK time. GMW Thursday, tomorrow, 7 o'clock on Thursday, 7 o'clock UK time as well. So 2 p.m. there in Texas, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow as well for the GMW. Because GMW tomorrow, 7 o'clock UK time, 2 p.m. I'm guessing Eastern time. So 2 p.m. here in Texas, that's fine. So there you go. So 7 o'clock UK time, 2 p.m. American time. Or Eastern time. Whatever that is. So yeah. Or CDT. Okay? Whatever. But yeah, 7 o'clock tomorrow UK, my time. Get yourself here as well. So like I said, 2 o'clock American time. I said, Central Standard. Okay. So 2 o'clock Central Standard tomorrow. So 7 o'clock UK time, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, according to Catboy in the chat. So yes, it'll be here tomorrow, live and in living colour. I will create. I'm in the process of creating Catboy's character, your character, Catboy. I haven't quite finished it off yet. I've gone with the instructions, but I haven't quite finished the instructions that you gave me first. I will be in touch with you via Whisper to get more information on what you want. But like I say, I haven't quite figured it out yet because I had a rough weekend. I stayed in bed all day on Saturday, which was not fun. So I'm just like slowly getting back in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this stream. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to watch this this podcast. If you want to see more podcasts, follow the channel. I'm doing this on a part-time basis at the moment. I'm trying to bring it in and incorporate it into my schedule, but it's a fail at the moment. I can't figure it out. I want to do it on the Monday, but I want to do, I want to find the balance between doing this wrestling podcast, and the stuff that I do already. The Red Deads, the WWEs, and stuff like that. I want to add in more stuff as well and do more things, but like I say, it's just finding that balance. Knock on wood, I find it eventually, and hopefully we'll do this podcast a little bit more often. But it's on a part-time basis at the moment. I only did it today because I hadn't done it in a while. So that's the only reason I did it today, because I hadn't done it in a while as well. Also, guys, as well, and I'll let people know this tomorrow, over the weekend I did, which you guys have done a lot of today as well, the Games Matters Rewards and Challenges, as it's called here, when I'm looking at it right here. 100 channel points gets you hydrate. 100 channel points gets you to type a message in and it'll be highlighted as well. 320 channel points gets you in a random sub emote. So that means you can unlock a sub emote, one of my emotes, and I'll be creating more emotes as well. But you can unlock one of my emotes for 24 hours. I've done it on other people's channels as well, but I think that's the one we can get it for 24 hours. You can send a message for 350. You can send a message in a sub-only chat, or in a sub-only mode stream, which I will do eventually down the road. I've only got 9 subs at the moment, so it's not worth doing that. I think 480 gets you to choose an emote to unlock as well. 500 makes me dab, which I did today. As well, 700 you can unlock this. You can unlock a sub emote as well, which is my Too Sweet logo. I don't know if I might take that one down, since you can do it in there as well. Mind you, it's a random one, isn't it? So that one, the 321, is a random one, so I guess you can do that. The hero quest is to choose a hero that I play on Spider-Man or whatever it is I'm doing. If I'm playing on a game and there's a hero to play with, like if I'm playing like a hero or something like that, you can make me choose. I don't know. I might drop that one. Drop it. I have no idea what the drop it one is, because I haven't quite figured that one out yet. I have to look on the ones that I've got. Let me just get my channel points back up there. I don't want to cheer. I want my channel points, for God's sake. Right. Name generator gets you 1,000. Modify a single emote gets you 1,000. I don't know what that is. I might change that one as well and have you create your own emote as well, or maybe send you an emote. You can have it on here. I don't know that one. I'll have to trim some of these down. 1,000 also suggests a poll, so that means you make me put a poll together on certain topics or maybe help me out with that as well. Say, if I'm doing this, this, and this, and I don't know what to do and everything, I make a poll. You press 1,000 on there, the channel points. I make a poll, and then you can vote for yourselves, kind of deal. Karaoke makes me sing on stream. That's for 1,000 as well. I might up the ante on that one a little bit. 1,500 gets you an ad time, so that means I'll have to play an ad as well. 2,000, which was already used earlier on by Catboy, gets you to add your own command. I'll add a command to my commands list as well. Reverse is 2,000. Guide the raid, which I'm guessing makes me what raid it is makes you allowed to pick a raid for me to do if I'm going to do a raid. I'm not going to do one today, but when I do raids, I do raids often on this channel. But you know, I'm not going to do one today, so we'll see what happens on that. And 5,000 gets you to pick a game for me. So if I'm struggling to pick a game for an upcoming stream, you press 5,000, you can choose one for me. Granted, it's the one I've got, because don't be choosing ones that I haven't got. Otherwise, you're just going to waste the time. So I'll probably throw out some names, and then you can help me choose on that one as well if you spend 5k channel points. But yeah, guys, that about wraps it up for this podcast. Thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in, came by. Big Amish. And by the way, guys, if you haven't followed the Big Amish as well, there he is there. Go and check him out as well. Also, guys, as well, who else is in here? I'll give people a shout out I'll give these two a shout out just for being here, quite frankly, as well, just for being here, as well. And I saw Digital sneak in earlier on. I'll give him a shout out as well. He's a good dude, so go and check him out as well. Go and check everybody there. I'll be back tomorrow again with GMW. Games Matter Wrestling is tomorrow, guys, so don't you dare miss it. Also, guys, are you looking for a gaming chair? Struggling to find that right chair for you? Why not try TriumphChairs.com for all your gaming chair needs. Look at the varieties, you look at the makes, look at them all and choose which ones you want. And if you do find the one you want, use Games Matter 10 for 10% off. TriumphChairs.com for all your gaming chair needs. TriumphChairs.com, Games Matter 10 for 10% off at your checkout. I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully, on Twitch for the GMW show as well. GMW tomorrow, 7 o'clock UK time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time as well. So I'll see you then for tomorrow, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you then for GMW. Thank you to everybody who's came in, and thanks to everybody who's watching this on the Wrestling Matters YouTube channel too. Peace out.